What's going on, guys? I'm here with Tyler from Sky Hound, and we're down here at some of our Maryland properties, and Tyler has an awesome company that is kind of newer to the market, newer to the industry. We're starting to see a lot more of it. Drone Recovery, and you can see this big bad boy back behind us. It beats the little dinky drones we fly around for our cinematic shots. But tell me a little bit about your company and what you guys do.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, thanks for having me out here, guys. I'm excited to help you guys see some of the big bucks in your property using this thermal gear. Yeah, so we're Sky Hound Deer Recovery. This is coming into our second season now, and we help hunters locate their harvested game using thermal technology on these big old drones that you see back here. Our kind of mission is to help hunters recover more deer and have less go to waste. So we're located in Northern Virginia, just inside of Leesburg, Virginia. We're operating in Maryland, Virginia, and West Virginia for this coming season.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you said 2 years you've been doing this.
Yep.
What got you started into this? Like, what got you?
So I've always been kind of interested in, aerial drones, that type of deal.
Yep.
Been in the industry for going on 6 years now. As we all know, things started to kind of blow up in the industry here last season. On social. And so that kind of sparked me to get in gear and get this going and turn it into something.
That's where I've been seeing it. I've been seeing it all over social media, YouTube, stuff everywhere. And I saw his booth down at the Maryland show, and I was like, man, I got to get this guy's card, check out what it's like, what the stuff does. I got some questions for you.
Yeah, go for it.
So we've used them down here before, dogs.
Yeah.
What is the advantage of drones versus dogs? Or is there any disadvantages with a drone versus a dog?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call them disadvantages. The thing that I like to say about a drone is it's the least intrusive way to locate a down game. Dogs are great. Dogs have their place. The one negative that they come with is you blow up your property. And if that deer is not dead, if it's, you have other deer on the property that you're trying to hunt that season, it can be a problem.
Oh, yeah.
So, with the drone, least intrusive way to get in there and give you the data as the hunter to understand what are my next steps. We talked about it a little bit off camera, but, if you put a shot on the buck of a lifetime and it's a high scapula shot and that buck is going to make it, it would be great to be able to know that before you go with a pack of dogs, bust that deer out of the county, and you never see it again. The great thing with the drone is you pop it up, you're able to go in, locate that animal, and via the thermal and other cameras and the zoom technology on there, we can tell you that's a high scapula shot, and you need to give this property a week, and then let things settle down and get back on the hunt. That deer is none the wiser.
Dogs aren't telling you that.
No, dogs are not telling you that. No,
can't
I mean, you're going up over the ridge over scent, and that deer is busting out there.
See, we mentioned tracking up the property and everything. Does the drone scare deer away? Like, say you come up on a wounded deer, or even just any deer in general, do they care for it? Do they get freaked out?
I mean, so we haven't really pushed the envelope as far as how low to the ground can we get before a deer busts out of there, because harassing wildlife, harassing animals is not something that I want to test. So, I think some of the lowest that we've gotten to is about 150 feet, and they are none the wiser. And at 150 feet, you're going to be able to hear this thing. It's a low buzz. I don't know if they can hear the helicopter that's going on. It's significantly quieter than that. And they just don't care.
Good. Yeah, I know you mentioned legalities. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this. What all goes into it on your end to be able to do this?
Yeah, so we're a business, right? So you have to have your commercial license, your Part 107, which is first and foremost. And then the legalities around drone deer recovery, so utilizing a drone to recover a downed animal are pretty clear cut in each state, and it's that drones cannot be used in the assisting of the hunt. So our terms of service on our website, on our flyers, are pretty clear. If you're calling us, the hunt is over, you're now in the recovery stage. You start to kind of go into the gray a little bit if that deer is found wounded, what are the next steps there? In my home state in Virginia, they make it pretty clear that if that drone is flown in a calendar day, you can't hunt that same day the drone is flown.
I gotcha.
Maryland, I do not believe has any language like that, so it's left to
the nice because it makes it clearer for in other states versus like something like that.
And that's where I think as the industry grows as a whole, I think we'll start to see legislation come out that is for the betterment of this technology and helping hunters locate more game. And that's a huge proponent for Sky Hound, is to hopefully help educate wardens, state legislators, and so forth, so that this technology doesn't scare anything away, and all of a sudden this amazing thing that would help hunters locate more deals taken away for some reason.
Yeah. That's there's a lot that goes into it, and it's impressive. I mean, I know it probably took a long time to get to where you're at, especially if you were in the drone business before. It's helped. It's not something people can just dive into. Because I know this thing is expensive. Do you want to tell us more about the exact drone you're using?
Yeah.
And you talk about being 150, 200 feet up. This thing has to have some crazy zoom on it, correct?
Yeah, it's got 200 time optical zoom. So the drone itself is the M300, the DJI M300. This is kind of their flagship workhorse model. It's the do-it-all. It's got interchangeable payloads. This is our thermal regular view camera, as well as the zoom and IR features. So we typically have another payload on here, which is a Z15 Spotlight. So that allows us at night to operate using the thermal to help locate your deer. We'll switch over to IR to identify with the Spotlight if that's in fact the deer that you hit, and then we're able to, you know, sometimes see the shot location and other information there. We've got 6 batteries with us, so we're rocking up to 2 hours of flight time, so we're not finding that deer in 2 hours. It's
long gone.
Gone, yeah.
Last year when you were doing it for friends and stuff, how many can you handle in a day? How many recoveries can you handle in a day?
Yeah, we can do. I mean, it all depends on where you're located, right? If we get 5 calls within 20 miles of each other, that's easy for us. But if we're traveling down to Southwest Virginia and then we get a call out this way in Maryland, that's 4 or 5 hours of driving right there. So that's gonna limit our ability. We do have kind of a network of operators in the state of Virginia to help with that, so that we're not having to travel all over the place and focus a little bit more.
So it's not just you running this, you have other guys that have drones to do it for you too.
Correct.
Sweet.
And then we're also going to be looking to expand here in the 2024-2025 season.
Very
so
cool.
We'll be looking to bring on a whole bunch of new operators. This is definitely a data gathering season for us to figure out where are the hot spots in those 3 states that we're operating in, and where do we need to hire on new people to better cover it.
Oh, I agree. Have you gotten any negative feedback on maybe like pushing the fact that you're pushing the old timers out, the dogs out, the traditional way of doing things or anything?
Not really on the dog side.
Yeah.
I mean, not yet. We haven't. I know in the state of Virginia that's a sore subject. There's lobbyists on that. There's all sorts of money thrown to keep that alive, because that's kind of a heritage thing in Virginia.
It's cool, and I know nothing wrong against dogs. This just makes more sense for me.
Absolutely. And I think there's obviously still a need for dogs.
Yeah.
We can't operate on state lands, so WMAs or things like that. So there's absolutely still a need, and there's plenty of hunters to warrant these 2 different companies. The statistic that I've been throwing around, and I don't know if it's 100%, but I think 50% of deer that are shot are never recovered.
Wow.
Which is a crazy statistic.
That is a crazy statistic.
It's a lot of down animals that go to waste.
Yeah.
And if we can bring a technology into the industry to help it, lower that number, I'm all for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see this thing go in the air.
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
I would love to. Hopefully we can find a good buck around here. Not just all the spikes I got around here right now.
I'm sure we'll find a few. Yeah.
It's just so cool being able to see how this can work in like a canopy too. Because I kind of had my thoughts how's that work under trees and stuff, but you find holes, you can see the deer through it, just like we did with the deer right up at the top of this field, and pretty freaking cool. So we're gonna go see if we can find some more deer and some bigger bucks too. A little 9 point.
Good, not great.
He wants to see me this fall, I'm telling you.
So in the off season, what do you still do stuff?
Our big industry that we focus on with Sky Hound is a lot of construction. So we do a lot of construction mapping, orthomosaics, progression photography.
Oh, very cool.
LiDAR scans, topography. And then on the hunting side of things, on the hunting industry side of things, we do a lot of property maps and herd analysis.
Yeah.
So as you can see, with all this tree cover, it's a little bit more difficult to locate the deer. It just takes us longer. When the tree cover comes down and we're doing herd analysis in January, February, March, we're able to give you those quick, accurate counts of what are the bucks left on the property, how many does, what's the buck to doe ratios, and you're getting that information right then and there.
That's crazy. You can find that all out from a drone.
Yeah.
Well, dude, that was freaking awesome. Didn't find any big bucks, but it's cool to see what the rig you got and just everything you can do with it, and how seriously how helpful it is. I know who I'm gonna be calling this year.
I appreciate it, man. Well, thanks for having me out here.
Absolutely. How can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so we have Sky Hound Deer Recovery on Instagram, and then you can check out our website, sky-hound.com. Shoot us a DM, give us a call, send us an email. During season, we'll be checking all of that stuff. So yeah, we're looking forward to a busy season. I'm glad you guys were able to see the abilities of it, and what you're able to pick apart and kind of take a peek.
The advantages, like I said, are just unbelievable. And before I forget, what's the pricing? Like, what do you charge folks?
So it depends on your state. So for Maryland, you don't have a doe only early season, so we're just doing regular pricing, which will run from your opener in September all the way through the close in January, which is $400 a search. And then we are a $1 a mile outside of our 30-mile radius of our home base.
Gotcha.
And that's just to cover gas and whatnot.
Yeah.
Virginia is a little bit different. So we do an early doe only season. We drop the prices for that just because we're trying to encourage people. This isn't just the buck of a lifetime service. This is meat on the table service. We want to help people find their deer. So that's going to be $200 a search, and that runs from September 6th through October 2nd, I believe.
Very cool.
And then West Virginia is just a regular deer season, so that's $400 a search.
Well, maybe looking forward to seeing you this fall. I don't want to see you, but I would love to see you.
It's a funny business model, man. I tell everybody, I hope you don't have to call me. I know you probably will. No offense to anybody, but it's just statistics.
My statistics say I'm going to be calling you this year. So appreciate you coming out again, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you do some more work this year.
I look forward to it.
Sweet.
Thanks, man.